Hi all folks, this is Max from ZenoMax.com and HighOnAndroid.com, where we get high every day on Android. Anyway, first topic of today is CES. Am I going to CES? I've been going to CES for the last 3 years. You know I'm not going this year because, I don't know, there's so many people there and 3G and 4G is horrible. Wi-Fi is horrible. There's just too many people with too many smartphones, too many demos, so it's really hard to get a good internet connection there. Plus, most of the stuff that's on CES is gonna be on Engadget anyway, so why do I have to go? It's like you can watch football, NFL football on your TV. You don't actually have to go to the game. Plus, I gotta be buying all these new domain names as soon as they announce, the next Galaxy S3. I'm gonna go buy GalaxyS3, .com. So I gotta be like, typing really fast so I can beat all those other guys, so I can buy the domain names. Next, we got some questions. What kind of music do I like? I love dubstep. And here's another question: are you the hairiest Asian guy around? Pretty much, yes. None of my parents, none of my family have hair, but I do. So I guess it's a good thing. So I'm gonna grow a goatee until I get my Transformer Prime, which is arriving soon, hopefully, so I can cut my beard off. I'm always going on Facebook or Google Plus, and people are always asking me, "What's your job? What do you do for a living?" So I make these YouTube videos. That's what I do, and I love doing it. I don't know how it ended up this way, honestly. I was just doing what I like to do. I like making these videos, tutorial videos. That's why I got started with my old company at Confile. I was selling computer chips. I made these gadgets, with these computer chips, and made it really cool. And people like them on the internet. But I like showing them how to do it step by step. So it's not just me showing off, but everybody else can do it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm making tutorial videos, websites for people who don't know how to do it, who have no idea on how to root their phone. I'm showing them how to do it. Without my guides, it would be a lot harder. You can go XCA and other videos, but they don't use a good camera. I use this, so I can zoom in. And I'll take all those videos so you can follow step by step instead of those blurry videos. You know who I'm talking about. Next up, we've got Android ROM installation rooting questions. Here's a question from Bing. Can you delete the ROM when you're done? From Julian Velding 98. Yes, you can delete your ROM files, your rooting files. All the files that you put on your phone, you can delete after you do it. For example, after you root, you can erase all the rooting files off your computer. And you can re-download it if you need it again. Also, for ROM files, after you zip and install the new ROM file, you have the ROM running, then you can delete it. You can always keep the ROM by using Clockwork Mod Recovery to back up your current ROM before going to another ROM. So you can restore it to different ROMs, and for example, I've got this phone has like 10 ROMs in it. I can switch on the go, on the plane, on the bus. So that's the way to do it. You can delete all the files. And next question, does the ICS ROMs like Brainmaster, Android Me, and this one have to be in a ICS upgrade version? Can these ROMs be installed on my current Gingerbread version? From user SVCE 2007. Yes, most of the Android phones, as long as you have Clockwork Mod Recovery or Torque Recovery or whatever recovery, you can upgrade from Froyo to Gingerbread, Gingerbread to ICS to Gingerbread. It doesn't really matter because the structure is already set, and you're just flashing new ROMs. But there are certain phones like the Droid 2, a lot of the older Motorola ones. Sometimes if you upgrade to Gingerbread from Froyo, you end up in this brick, so you have to unroot your phone, and then you have to root it again, and then you have to try the process again, and if you fail, you have to keep doing this again and again. They have now this thing called Safe Strap, so it's safer for Motorola phones, but that's why I kind of stay away from Motorola phones, and that's why, like the Droid Razr, we don't have enough developers on it, and we don't have enough ROMs. We have barely 3 good ROMs, and that's why I'm not doing any Droid Razor or Droid Bionic ROMs because there's not enough developers for it. Motorola has to really change, and they have to unlock, you know, everything so it's easy for developers to develop on. Otherwise, you know, everyone's gonna go to the Samsung phones. Samsung phones are great because, you know, they're very easy to break. No security, no bootloaders. Even HTC is going that way, which is a good thing. And Motorola will always fall behind because of that, their locked system. Next question of the day is ICS Face On Lock on older Android smartphones. I already tried on the Nexus S, overclocked to 1.4 gigahertz. It has Face On Lock, but it runs really slow. And every time I put my face to it, even in, you know, super bright light, it can't recognize it. I think the problem has to do with the processor. It's got to be fast enough to process the face within, like, you know, a slot of time, within, like, you know, 0.5 seconds. But most of the older phones like the Evo 4G, Nexus S, anything with one single core 1 gigahertz, they're gonna have a hard time using the Face Unlock feature. Because, you know, it's supposed to run a high-end dual-core processor phones. So phones like HTC Evo 3D, all the Galaxy S2s, they're going to be fine. But for all the older phones, you probably don't even want to use it because it's just going to, you know, it's going to be another feature. It's not going to work on your phone. That's just the truth. And the next question comes from nobody. Can you brick your Android? I get a lot of questions. Can you break your Android phone? Can I root it now? I get like 10 questions per day on this. Really, if you follow directions and, you know, you can't, and you make a backup in Clockwork Mod Recovery, you can't break your phone. The only way you can break your phone, I bricked once, is by using Odin on the Samsung phones. Basically, you know, while you're Odining, you take out the, you know, the USB plug or something. But otherwise, you can't really hard brick it. Hard brick is where it's bricked. You can't, you know, return it back to original state. But you can't really brick Android phones or Android tablets. I've done it like once in my lifetime. That was trying to root the Samsung, the Sprint Epic 4G Touch phone, but I was trying to root it, and, you know, I did root it. It was the world's first Epic 4G Touch, you know, fully rooted. But I bricked my phone while doing it. But that's kind of like really complicated stuff. But for flashing ROMs and stuff, you can brick your phone. You can end up in this thing called soft brick, where, you know, you end up in this soft brick and, you know, it ends up in a boot loop. So you get stuck on a, you know, your booting logo. But if you made a backup in Clockwork Mod Recovery, you can boot into Clockwork Mod Recovery, restore your old ROM, or install another ROM. Clockwork Mod Recovery also lets you connect your phone as a USB drive to your computer, so you can download a new ROM, put it on there, flash a new ROM, and bam, you're all ready to go. So there's no, you know, no way you can really break it unless you throw it out the window or, you know, throw it in the water. And there's some rumors that Apple has been spreading that Android gets viruses. Actually, theoretically, you cannot get viruses on Android. Maybe somebody can create a malware and make a fake app, and somehow you downloaded that, and then you put your personal information, and they can kind of, you know, do that. Or maybe Courier IQ. Somebody works at Courier IQ, and your Android phone has Courier IQ, and you know, they decide to steal your information. But in reality, like 99.9% of the time, it's pretty much safe to use Android or Apple. And if that happens to Android, it's going to happen to Apple also. So it's just a spreading, somebody is spreading rumor. I think it's a bunch of Apple employees or Apple fanboys. And here's some interesting comments of the day. Bing. Bing. Alright, see you guys all later. Oh yeah, don't forget to leave interesting comments, your questions about Android in general, and you know, leave it below, and I'll have another one of these videos, I think. See y'all later.